Hi guys, Faz here. I'm going to share with you about goal analysis continuation of what I shared yesterday. Okay, okay, so we can see that just want to share with you in terms of how you see a particular trend. Okay, so if you look the near-term trend for gold, well, it looks to be downside in this case from the daily, and I did say that we can look for a buy, right? So the buy yesterday go up for a while, then after that price went down. But now the thing is, I'll be looking for a sell just because of this strong bearish single candle. All right, that is another story. As I said yesterday, right? Is it may look whether we want to buy or sell, so we have to examine what are the options available. Okay, if you look at the trend down price downtrend here, impulse wave, but this doesn't have any influence to push the price higher. Okay, sellers continue, buyers fail again, sellers continue, and then in this case, this is where it found support and price started to push up. Okay, and as it pushed up, it met the resistance and then pushed down. So now the problem is, are we looking this for sell of a rejection of this? I mean, in one trend trader can say, okay, this is a rejection of this certain downtrend, and then to go down, right? There could be one ways of saying this trend. People will see this as a sell opportunity. Okay, another trend trader would see this as, to me, the way I see it is there's a reduction of sellers momentum. Okay, if you compare for the volume from the sellers, even though there's a push here, you look at the volume of the sellers, it's not exactly that strong. So what does this rejection and this close represents to me? Okay, the way I see it, right, as I say that price, another approach that I would like to see is that price to came back to this area to look for a buy. So if you look in these lower time frames, what is the significance of this push here, of this candle here? It shows that the sellers, to me, it shows that the sellers have been weak. If you look in the 4 hour, right? If you look in the 4 hour, we can see that price have went up, and this is where price took out a lot of people who took a buy on a high. All right, and then here some people who took a sell, it has not exactly moved, right? And then if we look in the 4 hour, we can see that price consolidates for quite a lot of candles here in the 4 hour. The price make an inside bar breakout, and this area is now to be tested somewhat, right? So it depends of whether what will going to happen for this market in the next few hours. But to me, based on even on this close, right, I'm not looking for a sell, because if you look in the daily, right, if you look from these movements in terms of uh, the strength of the movement of the sellers, right? Okay, it opened here. Now it's considered this one Thursday. The next one will be the Friday one. So it opened here. It went down here. It pushed up here. Rejection. Push up. Rejection. So it's actually never go much. So the sellers momentum to me in this case have been quite weak. All right, there is not much strength for sellers to push this market down at this moment, and that is why for me, uh, based on the price action, depends. I will look for a buy, but we have to wait and see, because what is the effect of this bearish candle? If I see a weak sell momentum continue over the next 2 3 candles, that tells me that sellers cannot pass this broken area which has been respected, and then to look for a buy should that happen. Okay, so I have to wait for the over the a couple of candles in this case for gold, right? That's how I can see from here. And then I want to share with you about Aussie Cat as to why I took a sell after I took a buy here, and then I closed the profits, and then I took a sell after that. Because when I examine the higher time frame for this Aussie Cat on the higher time frames, right, I'm no longer looking at this push, right? I'm looking at this sellers push. This is a very strong sellers, bearish pressure, and then the sellers push. So if market wants to come back, right, out of this impulse wave up, right, prices, this market come back to the 50% of this weekly, right, there could be a rejection. Okay, which is really around nearly 50% of this weekly, and that is why when I see the daily candle after I close my positions, right? And I see the 4 hour, and that is where I see the buyers have been reduced. Look at that. This is a very strong buy, right? And that is where the buyers have been reduced. Okay, so I entered the sell there because for the near term trend is to be the upside. In this case, daily, that's why I go and buy. But the long term trend, the way I see it, right? So because when you see any kind of market, any kind of movement on the market, you must ask yourself, right? What does this mean? Does this mean that the market is going to reverse? So before you decide, you need to define how you define an uptrend, while how you define a reversal in this case. Okay, the way I see it, there is no reversal now. Okay, after all these things, and then we can see quite it's a bearish engulfing candle, but I don't trade bearish engulfing candle, but it's enough to tell me that the sellers are in control of this market. So for Aussie Cat, but today is Friday, whether can price break this previous low here will be another story. Okay, because right now, if I based on this sellers pressure, so there is still that opportunity for us to take this short. Okay, for now we can see that price already make an impulse wave down here, right? So it's the same logic. Okay, if I want to take any kind of sell, it has to got to be near the impulse wave, 50% of the impulse wave before a pullback. First, you need to identify the impulse wave. After you identify the impulse wave, wait for a pullback. Once the pullback happens in the shape of a bullish candle close, then I will take a sell. Simple as that. And then that's it. And I also want to share with you guys about EuroGBP. Okay, this is where a couple of weeks ago, some of my friends who took this on a buy. Okay, this is how you see when you mark the markets. Don't mark everywhere. Don't mark resistance support everywhere until you don't freaking see, do not know what the hell you want to take. You want to look at momentum, you want to look at the buyers and sellers, you want to look at the direction, you want to see how many, I mean, is there momentum for you to take a sell? Is there momentum for you to take a buy? Okay, look at the price action. Like this is when this happened, right? So let me okay. What in the couple of weeks ago, right? What the people did is that they mark a resistance here, they mark a support here. Say that okay, price is now showing weak sell momentum, and then price going to push up in this case. At this point of time, it looks yes. Is there anything wrong with this marking? It's okay. There's nothing wrong. There is a support. It's a previous demand. Yes. However, the problem is right. Is you are not looking at this push. This push immediately cancels out whatever that sells here. Okay, whatever sells here, it cancels out. I mean, it will bound to break past this previous support here. Okay, and whether it will break the previous support, which is much lower than here, which is here. So we mark that zone here. If this zone is broken, if this zone is not broken, then there's a chance that price to go higher. But because of this strong bearish pressure, price might push down first before pushing towards the upside. Okay, we look from here. Okay, this is where price consolidates, and then this is where you do not want to be in the buy because the buy momentum is very weak. Okay, this is where the rejection of the previous demand inside bar starts to form in the daily. So it can form as a reversal signal. Okay, before this inside bar price is on a downtrend, and look what happened after that. Price reverses. So now we can say that UGBP has been on an uptrend. So this is no longer relevant. Now its job is try to break past this previous high here to continue to the upside. So whatever the resistance down here is no use, it will just be broken. Can you see that? All right. So this is how you do your levels, how you do your marking, how you do your zones. So it's the same thing when you. I mean, be as simple. I don't need indicators to tell me where the market is going to go. Right. Just be very simple in your approach, guys. And I think that's it. All right. So I'll just be waiting and see what is going to happen. Because right now, for gold, it could be sideways, perhaps. I mean, the thing at this area, if you want to look for a sell, right, your sell may not work out. So be very careful. So in the 4 hour, right, we want to see. I mean, if I want to go on for buy this, I want to see a weak sell momentum. Then I will go for a buy. And that's it. So I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.